Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all, so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And the life is treating you most deliciously. So, what do we do? 3, 2, 1, my juice, little lights. Oh, thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright. Come on, stay on. Okay, they're staying on, my delicious babies. They're staying on. Okay, my delicious babies. Now, so I've got something to show you. But first of all, what's the time, Mr. Wolf? So the time is nearly 20 past 5 on the 9th of March 2026. Now, it has gone a little bit, shall we say, a little bit chillier. It wasn't so bad today, actually. Another grey sky, but now it's starting to go dusk, so it's starting to go darker. Okay, my delicious babies, and I hope that wherever you are in the world, that life is treating you most deliciously, and that you've got delicious and wonderful weather wherever you are. Okay, my delicious babies, must remember the old eagles. Okay, my delicious babies. Now then, so what have I got for you today? Sorry, excuse me, so there's no videos. It's all right. My lights are so flipping heavy and long. I mean, that's not a bad thing, is it, my delicious babies? Because, you know, the lamppost, the light is still not working. It seems to, we're having a party. It seems to come on and off, my delicious babies, for some unknown reason. You know, couldn't think why. Now then, my delicious babies, so what have I got for you today? Wait till I show you this. Okay, my delicious babies. So this here, can you see it? So I went out to walk my beautiful, delicious little Ruby Tuesday because my beautiful, delicious little Maisie Moo wanted to stay in. And this is what we've received today, my delicious little babies. Okay, so this is Birmingham City Council, everybody. Okay, my delicious little babies, I'm going to read it out to you what it says, okay? You know, it's quite fascinating, you know, to see one's birth races, you know, to find these outside their front doors, my delicious little babies. It's really fascinating, as if to say, what the effing hell have we received now? Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? You know, if I knew you were coming out a big cake, how'd you do, how'd you do, how'd you do? Right. Birmingham City Council, my delicious babies. This is food waste now. Okay, so we're on to food waste. Okay, my delicious no liquids or oils, please. Okay, my delicious babies. So we're going to go through this now. What are they showing us? Right, so are they saying that you can have, so you can have eggshells, I think. I can't see what that's meant to be. Something else which looks like chicken bone or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's have a look, my delicious babies, and let's see what else we've got inside this one. So it's one inside another. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? So this here, like, okay? So with this, you receive... Right, so you receive some little bags which appear to be rather wet. Okay, my delicious babies, okay. So they tell you not to put any water or oils, but as you can see, there's water. Okay, my delicious babies. Now then, it's a good job I got some tissue to wipe it up. It's just water, my delicious babies, anyway. So these are the bags. So I assume that one opens them and then puts them into this container here. Of course, it's all plastic. Okay, my delicious babies. Now then, did I receive any instructions? No, I never received any instructions with my delicious babies. But maybe others have received. You know, maybe they have received instructions, but I haven't received any, my delicious babies. Oh, too dums. So I don't know how to use them. I don't know how to use these boxes. Can you help me? Can you please help me? Okay, my delicious babies. So, right. Enough of taking the pee. Right, now then. So, let's have a look. So, what I'm going to do with these, my delicious babies, this is the plan. okay, because you've got to have a plan, haven't you? Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, actually, I've got to empty some water. I've got 2 plant pots, actually, that I've got to empty water out of. Okay, my delicious baby. So that's 2. That's 2. And then I'm going to use this, my delicious babies, okay? I have suggested to other neighbours as well that what we could do is we could grow food. Okay, my delicious babies. So instead of putting waste, which of course my delicious babies has taken, there we are, decades and decades to receive one of these plastic pieces. Okay, my delicious babies. Well, we all know what happened with the recycling, don't we, my delicious babies? It's also open to question why Birmingham City Council want to collect food waste. My delicious babies. I mean, come on. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, my delicious babies. I mean, even if you take a look at supermarkets, it's just things that are coming into my noddle, my delicious babies. Even if you look at things like supermarkets, they put all the waste into these great big, bins. These colossal bins, my delicious babies, okay? But they don't want any of the public having anything that's been thrown out, okay? I've been talking about this, there we are, for years now, whatever o'clock, okay, my delicious babies? So they don't want anybody having anything for free, okay, my delicious babies, but they want, well, as far as I'm concerned, there we are, the morals all the same, they want all of our little scrapings, you know what I mean, my delicious babies. I mean, so, at the end of the day, I mean, maybe they could be talking about potato peelings or... Because all of these things, my delicious babies, in all fairness, especially if one happens to have a very large garden, there we are, and I've known this for decades, okay, so this is nothing new to myself. Well, if you break up all of the potato peelings, onion, in fact, onion skins, my delicious babies, is exceptionally good if you soak it, really, really soak it, okay? That's actually a very good, it might not taste very nice, but it's a very nice drink to have. You know what I mean, my delicious babies? I mean, of course, the point is, make sure it's clean first and everything. Well, that, my delicious babies. But, and that would be very good for yourselves. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? So, but anyway, get back to the matter in hand. So you could use onion bits, what else could we use? Eggshells, you crush them up really small and then put them back into the ground, my delicious babies. So there's many things now that one can use, I suppose we could say the same for fruits and things like this, you know what I mean, if you just break them up very small and everything, you know what I mean. So what you're actually doing is putting them back, there we are, back into the earth. You see what I mean, my delicious babies? But it still does not answer why it's taken decades to receive one of these, my delicious babies. Okay. So the first thing now then that came into my noddle, my delicious babies, I thought, oh, hold on a minute. I said, could it be, that there's so many now that are not paying their council tax? You know what I mean, my delicious babies, because they really just do not like having to pay council tax, to go and bomb other countries. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies, okay? Or to not have roads repaired or anything like this now then. Do you see what I mean, okay? The list is endless, my delicious babies, do you know what I mean? I mean, I remember decades ago, there used to be bins everywhere in parks, on residential roads. There used to be lots of lampposts with lights, so that when you were walking through the park, it was nice and bright. Bright lights, magway, magway. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? And of course, over decades, they have, there we are, got rid of all of these things, my delicious babies. So exactly what is one paying their council tax for, my delicious babies? This is a question, isn't it? Do you see what I mean, marvellous little babies? Yes. So I'll go back to that again. I've made a suggestion, so I'm not going to do what they're wanting me to do. It's Birmingham City Council, I'm not going to do what you're wanting myself to do. Okay, you can forget that one. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, don't you come back no more. Doom, doom, doom. Okay, marvellous babies, so what I'm going to do, because you've got to get some really good soil. And again, what do we have a problem with, marvellous babies? I remember decades ago, there we are, we used to have beautiful soil. Do you see what I mean, marvellous babies? Okay, you can actually smell. Go out into the countryside, okay, and you can actually smell the horse manure for miles. You know, all this manure and everything. You can smell it for miles, marvellous babies. Fair enough. It's not the greatest smell in the world. But what's the point I'm making, marvellous babies? The point is that is some of the best flipping soil and everything you can get, okay? These days, no. They mix, from what I can see, a lot of wood chippings in it and things like this now then, do you know what I mean? But it seems to be lacking, there we are, an important ingredient, which is to help flowers and plants grow and thrive and survive properly, marvellous babies. So we can see, there we are, how corporations now, there we are, now then, marvellous babies, cut corners. Okay, marvellous babies. So, anyway, I've been looking into all this business, you know, of how to grow things, marvellous babies. Okay, so I've got 4 containers. So I've got 4 containers. So I've got this one, then I've got another one inside it. Okay. I can use the bags for something else, you know, maybe rubbish or something like that now then. Do you know what I mean? Okay. I mean, there was certain supermarkets so many years back, marvellous babies, where they stopped selling carrier bags. They stopped selling plastic carrier bags, marvellous babies, but they continue to make everything else plastic, don't they, marvellous babies, and give you plastic little bin bags. Do you see what I mean, marvellous babies? That's another thing we used to have. If you go back years ago, marvellous babies, we used to receive a roll of black bin liners, marvellous babies. Don't have that anymore either. Haven't had any of these things now for years. Do you see what I mean, marvellous babies? So with my 4 containers, I'm going to, there we are, I'm going to be making a conscious effort, there we are, this year to attempt to grow some plants of some sort. Okay, marvellous babies. Okay, we're going to see how we get on. Okay, but the thing is, you know, I'm very impatient. You know what I mean, marvellous babies. You know, it's like I want everything. There we are, yesterday. Do you know what I mean, marvellous babies? It's like I want to be able to plant it, say, on a Wednesday, and I want it to be fully grown by the following Wednesday, marvellous babies. You know what I mean? But it just doesn't happen in real life, does it? Is it marvellous babies? Does it in real life? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so I thought I'd tell you the latest what I've received. Okay, marvellous babies. But some's birth races, like I said, it's a picture. Do you know what I mean? Because the thing is, I should imagine that many, bless them, there we are rather in shock. Because this is the first time any of this has happened, marvellous babies. Do you see what I mean? Okay, I mean, they still do not collect any recycling, marvellous babies. I remember when that very first came out, the old recycling. Well, I mean, so now we've got massive bins, okay? So I've got 2 massive bins, okay, marvellous babies. And of course, my recycling I do not use. I mean, I wash it when I wash my other bin. But of course I do you know what I mean? Just to keep it, there we are, fresh and clean. Do you see what I mean? Okay, but the point is, what's the point I'm making? So I've got 2 bins when, there we are, when I only use 1. Do you see what I'm saying, marvellous babies? Okay, so you know what? I'd say this is another effing scam. There we are, marvellous babies, just like the recycling scam. And the only reason why that has stopped now, okay, because there's too much, because there's certain countries now that are saying, no, you know, keep your flipping all your bloody rubbish where it is. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? That's what, there we are. That's what's going on there, my delicious babies. And I know, so do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay. So, anyway, so I'll let you know how I get on anyway. I mean, I know it's a process. I mean, I'm going to try to grow something. Sorry, excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. There we are. Maybe something's happening in France, mind you. I've had, that doesn't mean no. I thought something just got went in my eye then. Sorry, Martin, you should slick babies. Yeah, I've had a little bit of a niggly cough. I think the past couple of nights, and you know what I mean, and today, and I thought, oh please, I hope I don't get a cough, you know what I mean, because I don't like them, you know what I mean. They last the flipping weeks, don't they? You know, that's another thing, isn't it, my delicious little babies? What were they saying years ago? You know, in our Brummyland, well, I suppose we were saying it everywhere, actually, you know what I mean. I mean, they had all sorts of advertisements, you know, advertising this. You know, if you've had a cough for more than 3 weeks, you know, to go to your not so friendly quacks, my delicious little babies, which of course, you know, consequently, they're going to tell you then that you got flipping a real bad disease. You know what I mean, my delicious little babies. Anyway, but the point is, all it means is that it just needs clearing. So I'm going to have some ginger shortly, and I'm going to have a grapefruit. I'm going to squeeze it all, an orange, fresh orange, and I'm just going to squeeze a whole lot. My delicious little babies. I'm going to put a scoop of honey in as well. Do you know what I mean? Okay. And that should clear it. Okay, my delicious little babies, no trouble, no trouble. Okay, my delicious little babies. Anyway, so what else is it that I want to talk about? Yeah, to be honest, I'm following, like I've said before, I'm following this business to do with what's going on with different countries at the moment, my delicious little babies. Okay, so I am trying to follow what I can at the moment. Okay, but my issue here, my delicious little babies, okay, is that you see some countries there we are being mentioned, and other countries there we are not being mentioned enough. Okay, my delicious little babies. So this appears to be one of my issues. Okay, my delicious little babies. Okay, so but for myself, I do feel from what I can see and what I can hear that more and more there we are waking up to this, okay? And ones are just not liking, are they? Okay. So the way that I see it is, there we are, it's just getting harder and harder. You know, for we know who in the little lackeys, do you know what I mean? My delicious little babies, yes. That's what's happening here, my delicious little babies. There we are, straight up. Do you know what I mean? Okay. So, but it is dominating a lot of, you know, the news, as any war would dominate the news. But it's not like it's just going on in one country. It's going on in, you know, many countries. You know what I mean? My delicious little babies, yes. Okay. So I am keeping an eye on what's going on, my delicious little babies. I know who I listen to anyway. Okay. And I always do my best to advertise everybody. But not in that way, not in that way, you know. Our lovely UK column, our lovely davidart.com. And of course, they have their lovely dear sons. He does, sorry. Lovely dear sons, not in that way, not in that way. Gareth, Jamie, their lovely dear friend Richard, you know what I mean? And their lovely work colleagues and friends and everything. And then you've got, you know, others who I feel, you know, we'll call things out now, then there we are where they need to be called out, like our lovely Mag Bitter Truth, our lovely Fakeologist 3, with Fake News Phil, Tim and Jim Roserli. They're all lovely. Like I said, with anybody not in that way, not in that way. Our lovely do ran, do ran. So you got our lovely Duran, okay? So you've got a lot, there we are, who are covering this at the moment, my delicious little babies. We've got our lovely Mal Kay and her dear husband, Rob, okay? They're lovely, bless them, not in that way, not in that way. You know, on Rumble, okay? Mornings with Mal Kay, Rumble, okay, my delicious little babies. You've got World Space Alternative Space Media. also on Rumble. I'm having to, I feel, have a break from Odyssey at the moment, my delicious little babies, because trying to listen to a video, my delicious little babies, it just keeps circling. Now, YouTube was doing this. There we are, long time, my delicious babies. You've heard me mention this before, okay, my delicious little babies. So, and for myself, it's really, really, there we are, flipping frustrating, my delicious little babies. Do you understand what I mean when you're just trying to listen to a video? So anyway, so I switched over to Rumble to listen to World Alternative Media with Josh, bless him, not in that way, not in that way. Then we got our lovely the space David space Nat, which is like Nights in White Satin, you know, night show. Okay, my delicious babies, which of course I used to listen to on an Odyssey, but again, you know, going over to Rumble because, you know, I just want to be able to listen to a video. There we are. Oh gosh, my eye keeps itching, my delicious baby. Sorry about this. I just want to be able to listen to there we are, a video straight through. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? I mean, another thing that pees me off as well, my delicious babies, is these flipping damn adverts. Do you understand what I mean? They really flipping pee me off, you know. Then we got our dear lovely not in that way, not in that way. Our lovely Stu, Space Peters, Rumble, okay, Network Rumble, Stu Peters Network Rumble, my delicious babies. So, you've got a lot, okay, my delicious babies who are all covering this. Oh, and let's not forget our dear it's all, you know, 3 words into one, as is watching, you know, without the G on the end, watching, you know what I mean? It's got an RN on the end. Again, you know, that's the first ever time that happened the other day where, you know, I was listening to it on an Odyssey and for the first time ever, it just kept circling. So a video that you could just listen to straight through, like I used to with World Alternative Media or our lovely David Nat show, not in that way, not in that way, okay? Well, it's just a nightmare to listen to anyway. Oh, and the other one who I want to advertise is 21st. You can find this gentleman, bless him, not in that way, not in that way, on a YouTube as well. My delicious little babies, 21st. Or if you type in 21st century, okay, Patrick Henning, son, okay, my delicious little babies. He goes on to UK column, bless, okay, on a Friday, but he's been travelling at the moment, okay, because he's covering other news, okay. My delicious little babies, he's very good as well, my delicious little babies, okay. So you've got such a really, there we are, good selection. There we are, my delicious babies to listen to. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay. We've also got our dear, bless, not in that way, not in that way. The Space Crow House, okay, my delicious babies with our dear Mexican, bless him, okay. So, you know, there's that many different, there we are, channels to listen to get your information. Oh, and we've got our lovely Gary, space, not in that way, not in that way, capital G, space, capital W, Waterman. Okay, my delicious babies, Gary Waterman on YouTube, my delicious babies. Okay, I'm just trying to remember everybody. We've got our lovely, all spaces, Charlie Ward, Ward, sure. Okay, my delicious babies with our lovely, not in that way, not in that way, our lovely dear Charlie and our lovely dear little Demi. Okay, my delicious babies. I'm wondering where Paul Brooker is, you know. I haven't seen him, you know. And somebody else who I haven't seen for a while, what's his name? Warren Thornton. I haven't seen him either, my delicious babies. And of course, I haven't seen forever. And of course, with anybody not in that way, not in that way. Lee Dawson, I haven't seen him. What was he on? The Frontline Army. I'll need to type that in and have a look, my delicious babies. But I haven't seen. I really enjoyed listening to all these videos, you know what I mean? And then finally, we got our lovely not in that way, not in that way, our dear David Mahoney. you know, which is what's it? Oh, I should know this. I advertise. Sorry, dear David, I advertise everybody regular, don't I? Tips to Awaken the Soul on YouTube, Martylish Little Babies, okay? So it's David Mahoney, Tips to Awaken the Soul, okay, Martylish Little Babies. So there's that many, there we are, to take a listen to, Martylish Little Babies, okay? What I tend to do, I'm just switching over, because what I'm doing is I'm listening to one, then I'm listening to another. So do you understand what I mean? So it's like that now. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, okay? Because from what I feel, then we got our lovely, didn't mean to, our dear redacted, you know, bless them. Our dear little, lovely little Natalie, and our dear lovely little Clayton. Not in that way, okay? So you got our lovely redacted on YouTube as well. They're all just so lovely, okay, my delicious little babies. But of course, what's the point that I'm making, my delicious little babies? They've all got something, there we are, to bring to the table now. Okay, my delicious little babies, and that is what all of this is about. Okay, it's like, you know, how can I put it now? It's like, because I believe anyway that they all know each other anyway, my delicious little babies. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, so everybody knows everybody, who everybody is, rather. Okay, and you know, so it's like, let's just say, I suppose, where you need to, just a figure of speech, old-fashioned Jamaican saying, my delicious little babies, you know, one hand wash the other. Do you know what I mean? So if one can help another, there we are, in some way. Do you know what I mean? Then I see this, there we are, as a delicious and wonderful thing. My delicious little babies, do you see what I mean? Okay. So that's the end of my video for today, okay? So I've done all my advertising, okay? And yeah, I feel better for it. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, I just feel that ones now, there we are, my delicious little babies, there we are. I've got to get up to speed. There we are. They must get up to speed with things. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Yes, okay? And that's how I see it, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? Okay, we cannot walk around, it's an old-fashioned, decades-old saying, you cannot walk around gormless, you know what I mean? We haven't got time to be walking around flipping damn well gormless, do you know what I mean? My delicious little babies, okay? So, and the more and more and more who know about, you know, what's going on, my delicious little babies, you know, the better, isn't it? Okay, my delicious babies. Anyway, so that's all I've got to say for today, okay? So wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, of harmony and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves, your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected, and how I love you all so. You're all wonderful, super duper delicious, and I love you. Oh, one more, my delicious babe, two more actually. If you go on to our lovely Not In That Way, Not In That Way with our little lovelies, our lovely alexbelfield.com. Okay, my delicious little babies, and finally, our lovely Katie Hopkins YouTube. Okay, my delicious little babies. That's all my advertising now, my delicious little babies. Okay, for today, I've done the best I can. Okay, and I do it, there we are, as a hobby. Okay, my delicious little babies. I've got to hurt now that my flipping washing dries. I managed to get my first lot dry. I just got to try and get the flipping rest of it dry now. Do you know what I mean? I kind of just hope it doesn't flipping pee down with rain, my delicious little babies. See, if we had more sunshine, you know, we'd be able to flipping grow loads more. I keep saying this. I know I keep flipping going on about it, my delicious little babies. There we are. But it's the damn truth, isn't it? But of course, as we very well know, sorry, I was just going to say this before we go. I want to say this as well. Yeah, I mean, again, I mean, they're messing about with Jamaica. There we are, and everything like this now. Then why can't they just leave countries alone? Do you know what I mean? I seen a video, when was it? Just wasn't so long ago. Was it last week or the week before? It's one of those. Anyway, my delicious babies, poor Jamaicans. And what's happening? Well, it's poor anybody in their countries right now. Do you understand what I mean? Because each of our countries, there we are going through some effing shat. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? But anyway, I mean, they've not had weather like that. Usually it's hot and very sunshiny. You know what I mean, my delicious babies, okay? But what they were showing on this video, I should have kept it, actually. I might be able to find it again, actually. But what they were showing, I think the dear man was over, not in that way, was over visiting, you know what I mean? And it said, you know, the weather is not meant to be like this. Do you say? So it's not natural, is it, my delicious little babies? You know what I mean? Just like it's not natural when 90% of the time, there we are, it pees down with effing rain. In our old England, my delicious little babies, and we're supposed to be thankful and grateful for this. Okay, my delicious little babies. Well, nobody minds a bit of rain, my delicious little babies. We're not flipping all the flipping time. You know what I mean? I mean, it drowns anything, doesn't it? And how a crop's meant to grow properly or anything. I know it sounds like I'm... Well, actually, I am mourning. A mourn a day. There we are. Keeps you not so friendly. Quack, quack away, do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? It's better out than in, isn't it? But what about our poor crops? Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? I just had a thought, actually. You know, another reason why there could be... mind you, they haven't put a number on these. They haven't put a number. Mind you, I suppose they don't put numbers on bins either. You've got to put your own number on. Do you know what I mean? So, no. It may not be that. It may not be that. No, because I suppose they put it all in the same. I suppose it'd all go, unless they're going to use a smaller truck or something. I don't know. Or could they be looking, there we are, to see what ones are eating? I mean, there could be different reasons for this, couldn't there, my delicious little babies, with these boxes? Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? Okay, it's just thought, isn't it? But it just doesn't make any sense, does it? Just before I go, this doesn't make any sense. So who's going to come round? What type of truck is going to come round and come and collect all of your... you know, your chippings from, you know, food that you're no longer using. You know, will they be bringing a great big, you know, one of these massive bin trucks? Or will they be bringing a smaller truck? No, that's just came into my noddle because I just do not get. It's like, you know, and I was done saying this for years to everybody. I said, hold on a minute. I said, so they're putting in the normal rubbish, right? And then they're putting in the recycling as well. So how does that work? Do you see what I'm saying, Martin, baby? So it's just making myself wonder how they're going to rock and roll this. I know it sounds like I go on, but, you know, we have to, there we are, keep a very serious eye on these kind of things now. But you're not going to see myself put all my bits and pieces, you know, me spuds or whatever, in here, or my onions or anything like that, or salad stuff. Or no. I'm going to do, there we are, what I normally do, okay, which is usually put it into little bags, okay, and then transfer it, there we are, into my larger black bin liner, my delicious babies. That's what I'm going to do, because I repeat again, I personally do not like, there we are, bins in a kitchen. I just think that there we are, very dirty things, you know what I mean? But I do feel blessed because I'm on the ground floor and I can just walk out and just dispose of it in the bin. But I suppose not everybody can, do you know what I mean? They've got to walk downstairs, or especially if they're elderly, they could have bought their properties decades before, you know what I mean? And they live upstairs, you know what I mean? So for them to come downstairs. So I do get it. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, but for myself, no. You know, I don't like a smell. Do you understand what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? And that's all I want to say, but I'm going to stop, you know, just harping on about, you know, bins now, my delicious little babies. I feel I've said, there we are, quite enough. I must have a bit of orange juice, please. Excuse me, my delicious little babies. Please and thank you. Yeah. So that's that. But we got to keep shining those lights, shining those lights, shining those lights. Okay, my delicious babies. Well, if they think that I'm going to be having any second thoughts about paying my council tax, you know, just because they've sent me a poxy couple of bins, you know, to put my little chippings in, they've got nothing coming because they're not getting an effing penny. I never contracted to nothing. Took me years to sign myself up. I think it's been about, I think now about 5 year, I think 4 or 5 year, could be 5 year, since I haven't paid any council tax on our delicious little babies. It cannot be justified. How can that be justified? And of course, they're putting it up again, and because there's, I do know, some, especially the older generation, bless them, where they're too scared not to pay it. Do you understand what I mean? My delicious little babies, okay? But if you haven't contracted to it, just like your tax, that's the same. Do you know what I mean? My delicious little babies, well, no. And there we are. And tax is voluntary, isn't it? You see, all of these things, there we are, are voluntary. You shouldn't have to be forced. There we are, like a mafia. Because that's what it is. We've been run, my delicious babies, there we are, by a mafia. There we are. Okay, my delicious babies. But it's a mafia where instead of looking after us, there we are, it's like take. There's no give. You see what I mean, my delicious babies? So how does that rock and roll in? How does that work? You know what I mean? Like they keep take from us. Yet there we are, they give nothing back, and all they continue to do, there we are, is bully us all. Well, I do not see that as being very fair and correct. Do you, my delicious babies? Because I certainly do not. Okay. Anyway, so even though the lights are off, they're still on. Okay, my delicious babies, they're still on. Okay. It's just I've got a lot of these lights. You know what I mean? I've got a flipping lot of them. I have. I think it's about 20 here or something like this. I don't know. But, as long as we keep shining our lights, my delicious babies, that's the main thing. But, yeah, but I do not know how long it's going to take. I just had to untangle them. I do not know, my delicious babies, how long it's going to take for my video to upload. But if there's anybody in Brummyland, or if there's anybody in any other city who's recently received this, okay, my delicious little babies, these rather, well, maybe like I'm using my noddle, if you politely speaking were to use your noddle, and we'll try and grow food in them. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? So maybe this little scam, there we are, could be used to our advantage. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? There we are. That's the way I see it anyway. Okay, simple things. You know what I mean? Just got to use what you can use it for. Okay, you can use it for food, to grow food. Okay, my delicious little baby sinners that want to mess with our dear farmers now, and they want to try and starve us all. Okay, my delicious little babies, so we've got to get growing. Okay, my delicious little babies, that's the way I see it. Okay, so until my next video, thank you so very much for listening. How I love you so. Once again, I do not know how long my video is going to take to upload. It took hours upon hours upon hours. It usually does. And if anybody happens to pass my channel, you will notice that I do not really get any views. There's very few. So thank you for any views, for any likes, and the occasional comment. But anybody knows that I hardly ever get any views at all. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? But it's all bad design. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? But not to worry, because there's always somebody seeing and there's always somebody hearing. Okay, my delicious babies. So you just look after now. Please try to take care of others. Take care. Thank you once again for listening. Goodbye.